Well, good evening, Vitamin M family, and welcome to the pre-show. This is your time to get ready because you are going to go get your vitamins. I am excited on tonight for you to join me because we are continuing our series, My Story, Everybody Has One, What's Yours? And you know, each and every time we do a My Story series, we have a special guest that joins us, and I am excited about our special guest on tonight. I'm going to introduce her a little bit later, but before that, you must get ready to take your vitamins. You know that you need 3 things to get ready for the show. You need a writing utensil, you need a writing device, so you need something to write with, or you need paper. You're going to need your device if you choose to. You need a writing utensil, and I also want you to come with an open heart, mind, and soul so that you are ready to receive all that is going to be shared on tonight. Listen, let's go get your vitamins. This is your vitamin M. This is your motivation for the week. Get your vitamins. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey. Good evening. Hey. I am excited about tonight. I am already on the edge of my seat. I have a friend, and I consider her a friend near and dear to my heart, someone that I have a lot of respect for, a fellow colleague in the business. I'm excited about my story. Everybody has one. What's yours? And we are sharing her story on tonight. Listen, she took the challenge to come and sit and to share from an educator's heart. I am always excited about these series, about what's going to be our takeaway? What are we going to learn on tonight? But listen, when we get ready to get our vitamins, we have to always remember our 3 objectives, and that is to break down walls, to produce positive thinking, and to exhibit resilience amid any situation. I want to thank you for joining me on tonight. I want to personally also just thank you for always coming and supporting. You always like, you always share, you always make comments. So thank you. Listen, we're kicking off another My Story. Everybody has one. What's yours? And on tonight, listen, we are joined by a phenomenal individual, Dr. Trevena Nelson. And let me tell you a little bit about her before we bring her on, because listen, this is a fellow person in the business, and I just could not be more excited about this opportunity, because sometimes you call, you think somebody's going to join you, and you're like, oh, what are they going to do? But she said yes, and I'm excited about it. She was born in Monroe, Louisiana, and raised in Dallas, Texas. She currently serves in Cedar Hill Independent School District in Cedar Hill, Texas, where she has worked in various capacities ranging from classroom teacher to principal. She has had the honor of being named Campus Teacher of the Year and District Elementary Teacher of the Year. During her years as an educator, she has impacted many students and has contributed to the development of many teachers, and that is very true. Dr. Nelson is a proud graduate of Wilma Hutchins High School in Dallas, Texas, where she graduated with honors. She earned her Bachelor of Social Work and Master's of Science in Social Work at the University of Texas at Arlington. Determined to reach higher ground, Dr. Nelson obtained her superintendent certification along with pursuing her doctorate in K-12 educational leadership from Dallas Baptist University. Dr. Nelson has 2 sons, and she loves in a loving church family and a host of family and friends. You know, Vitamin M family, help me in welcoming Dr. Nelson to the Vitamin M show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I am so glad to be here.
Friend, I am excited about you coming. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
You just don't know. It means the world when you get somebody to actually then agree to come
Yes.
on and to share their story and to talk. So when we think about that, My story.
No, I love it. And like you say, everybody has one.
Everybody has a
And I'm
story.
honored that you're here, that you have me here to share my story.
Guys, we're diving in. We are diving in on tonight. So when we think about my story, everybody has one. What's yours? Dr. Nelson, what's your story?
Oh, what's my story? Well, you said it all right there in the beginning. Well, a synopsis of it. But I traveled kind of I would say, a non-traditional path to becoming a teacher, but many of us do that though. And it
Yes.
really doesn't matter. You
Mm-mm.
know, what matters is here and now.
That's it.
But I remember those days when I was like, oh, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and girl, let me tell you, I wanted to, you name it, I wanted to be it, the model, the actress,
Oh.
the engineer, the physical therapist, you know, writer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but whatever it was, it always kind of led me back to teaching. In whatever it was always in. I didn't know it. My mom knew it. She used to tell me all the time. She said, "You need to be a teacher. You need to be a teacher. You have patience. You're always wanting to help others, you know." And I fought it for a while, but I thank God though that I saw the light, and here I am today.
And we are
18 years later.
18, Dr. Nelson, it's been 18 years.
18 years.
18 years.
Yes.
Oh my God. That is, listen, I'm telling you, if any of us have survived 18 years in education, we all deserve a high five.
Yes.
We all deserve a high five in
Amen
this
to
business.
that.
What you said, you was glad that you saw the light. Talk to us about that, but that you were glad that you saw the light. But why? Because education is, it's a little difficult some days.
Yes.
It's a little hard some days. But what do you mean when you say I'm grateful that I saw the light?
You know, like I said, I kind of fought it for a while. Um, I didn't, like I said, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I tried some different
Mm-hmm.
things, and I was never fulfilled in what I did. You know, I did it. There was honor in it, no regrets, because I know that that path, it prepared me for where I am today. So I have no regrets. However, when I look back, there was always that feeling of being incomplete in what I did. And, you know, and so I tried, I worked in business. You said I graduated, my degree is in social work. You know, it's in social work. And then I went from there. Somehow I ended up in business. But even in that, though, I was always teaching. I was training. That's
See,
where my passion in church, teaching.
that's it. That's the thing. And I think but see, with Dr. Nelson, you hit on something. You said that I always felt incomplete. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I think for me is to, when we're talking to, when I'm talking to others and encouraging people, it's following your passion, it's following your gut, it's knowing, am I in the right spot
Mhm.
at
Time.
the right time?
Yes.
Because I
Mhm.
feel like that timing
Mhm.
is essentially timing is essentially everything. Is that, are you in the right spot at the right time? And so, audience, one of the things that I can already say, one of my takeaways already is follow your passion.
Yes.
Follow your
Mhm.
passion.
Right.
Because if we don't follow our passion, you would not have
Mhm.
the impact that you've had on so many students, and then
Right.
on so many teachers
Right. Mhm.
throughout your career. Um, what has that but what impact has education had on you? Because you've had an impact on education, but what has it had on you?
Oh, wow. What impact has it had on me? I think being in education is a reminder to me of how people have so much to bring to the table. Like you said, everybody has their story. Everybody has their experiences of what makes them who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, being in education really gives me a value. It really makes me value the differences in people, but at the same time though, it brings us together for a common cause. So see, that's it. So we have the different roads or the different paths, but when we come to this place though, we're on common ground because we're all trying to do better. We're all learning
Mm-hmm.
together. And so being in education makes me appreciate that more. So it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter, because it does matter, your background and all of that. But when you come to this place, we're on the same look, we're in this together.
I love it.
Does that make sense?
It does
Yeah.
make sense because it is we can honor our differences, but know that our differences bring us together.
Right.
That common ground of common, because I think we all, don't you think that we're all, even as educators and even as administrators, we're all still learning though.
All the time.
Like we're
All the
always
time. Yes.
still
We're not the know-all, you know, we're learning together,
no,
and we're growing together.
you better.
Right. And so one of the things that I always tell the people that I work with is like, I'm growing, but I can't be who I need to be unless you are who you ought to be. And see, that means I need to do something, but then that means you need to do something too. So we need each other.
Wait. See, okay, hold on, Doc. Wait, Doc, hold on. Because see, now I got these cards here, Doc, and I'm supposed to go through these cards and say the things on these cards. Now you done took one of my pieces.
Oh, is
now,
that
you
what
said, yeah, one of the pieces in the, bam, you said, okay, wait a minute.
I said that.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop. This is my friend. And when I tell you this book, I don't care if you're not an educator, you need to get the book. Talk about that quote though, because that is her book, The Heart, Hands, and Harmony of a Teacher. Every teacher needs to read this. Every teacher needs to read this. But talk about that quote, because I read that quote in your book. Say that, quote that again to the audience and expound on that, because that's a bad quote.
Right. Well, because in education, it's about teaching and learning, right? So I'm teaching, you're learning, but you're teaching me too, and I'm learning. I'm learning from you too. But the idea is that is interdependent. We need each other. So I want to be the best teacher that I can be. Well, then that means that I need you to be the best student that you can be. And then, well, how do you become the best student that you can be? That points back to me. I have to be the best. We need each other. That's why I'm like, we're in this together. We're in this game together.
That one almost left me speechless, because it was, because you said if you're not, basically that I need to be who I need to be so that you can be who you need to be, but you can't be who you need to be until I am who I need to be.
Yes.
So it's that interdependence between the two of us.
Right.
But what happens when one of us doesn't keep our end of the bargain up?
Oh, there's a gap there. There is a gap. So that means someone's doing more than they should. Somebody's carrying an extra load. And we're not perfect, so sometimes we do have to do that. But over a period of time, then it weighs us down.
That's it.
So, I can carry your load and fill in that gap for a while, but I tell my kids, I'm like, I need you to meet me halfway. I need you to help me help you.
That was a very good statement, because I think it is. Learning is it's an exchange between two individuals. And when you are who you need to be, then I can be who I need to be. And we can make that very good exchange between the individuals, even as educators, even with our students. I do wholeheartedly believe in that. And so listen, guys, we are deep into this. It is getting so good. I'm excited about having my friend with me on tonight. Listen, my story, everybody has one. What's yours? We will be back to talk to Dr. Nelson after these messages. Well, welcome back. We are here. My story. Everybody has one. What's yours? And Dr. Nelson is here telling us her story. And Dr. Nelson, thank you again. Again, I'm. If you get the book, let's talk about the book, The Heart, the Hands, and Harmony of a Teacher. My first question is, why the title?
Why the title? So the title to me just really sums up what the book is about.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to, when I decided that I wanted to write a book, really as a new teacher, I became intrigued by what makes an effective teacher. And then I became even more so intrigued when I became an administrator. Like, what is it? And everything that I saw, that I observed, pointed to either the heart of the teacher, it pointed to their heart,
Mm-hmm.
and then the harmony part has to do with who we are as individuals. And so the harmony is talking about the body, how we treat our bodies,
Oh, wow.
our minds, and then nurturing our spirits. So how it all comes together. So the title really just kind of sums it up.
It sums up,
It really does.
it really does sum up
Mhm.
the book, The Heart, the Hands, and the Harmony of a Teacher. One of the things you said is the harmony, and we'll start there because the book is divided
Mhm.
into three chapters, and each chapter is packed. It's packed with lots of information and just a lot of great nuggets and a lot of great takeaways. But if we go to the harmony of a teacher, talk to us about that chapter, because I'm going to tell you what my takeaway was from the harmony of a teacher, and it's something that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's what keeps me going. But before I go there, I want to double back, because my mind going back to something that you said. You said that the harmony of a teacher is who we are as an individual, and what I think, and you tell me. So as an educator, I don't have to lose who I am to be in this arena.
You don't have to. Matter of fact, you can't. You cannot separate who you are as a person, because that's what you bring to the classroom. And so, again, it goes back to being the best that I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So, can I be the best that I can be if I'm sluggish all the time? If I have unhealthy habits, can I truly be the best that I can be? Right? There are some things, of course, that are going to be out of our control, health wise, body wise, but we can do what we can do. So get your sleep at nighttime, close the computer sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this, I'm going to go back, because as I'm saying this to you, or in this book, I'm saying it to myself as well, because it's a hard lesson.
Now,
It is a hard lesson, but it's so
Yes,
true, though. We have to take care of ourselves.
that is so,
Mhm.
that is, but I think we do. I think sometimes we forget, and we get caught up in everything. And I know that is a very, especially as two principals sitting here.
Right.
How hard is it to close your computer?
It's hard. That's why I said I'm talking to myself too. But I think the older that I get, I'm doing it a little more. But it takes a while to get there. At least it did for me.
Mhm.
But I noticed the difference, though,
Mhm.
in my effectiveness when I get to that school building.
Because that's the thing, is the effectiveness of when it's how that I'm with you. I think the longer I'm in it, and the older I get, I begin to realize that I need those parts.
Right.
And I don't even think, just as an educator, this is not just a book for educators. This is a
Right.
book for all. This is a book for all people. Because
Yes.
I'm going to tell you guys, let me tell you something. This chapter 3, listen, she goes into, you talk about the things that all of us need to remember.
Right.
Be present.
Yes.
Take a time out. Eat healthy. Sleep.
Mhm.
You even talk about wearing comfortable shoes.
Right.
Really? Wear comfortable shoes?
Right. Yes. Because let me tell you, if the feet not happy, And as teachers, so now when I wrote the book, I wrote it with the new teacher in mind.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, but like you said, it really can apply to teachers that's been in it for a while, and even can apply to other professions as well. I've even had people to use it in their churches with their teachers there in the church and their leaders in the church. So it applies in different areas.
It
But when I
does.
wrote it with the new teacher in mind. And I'm going off of my experiences as well as the experience of others. And so we want to look nice, but we have to be comfortable.
We have to be
Right?
comfortable because
I can't let those shoes dictate what I do in that classroom. Because if I have my feet not happy, I'm going to be sitting down. But
That's
no,
it.
I want to stand up, move around, right? So that was my little tidbit. I wanted the book to be an easy read, everyday language, and of value, just give some value.
This is a friend, you did this because I'm telling you, this is an easy read. I love the self-reflection questions at the end. I think is that accountability piece,
Right.
which I'm very much about that accountability piece. But if we think about the harmony of a teacher, I can't sit here. I can't sit here in the vitamin M chair. I can't do this, nor can I be the best administrator I can be. That harmony for me was when you talked about prayer in general, to pray for myself and to pray for my students. Expound on that. Talk to us about that, because that took me, that my chapter 3, that was my takeaway.
Right. So for me, just being a spiritual person, a believer in God, believer in Christ, I know that there's some help that I need that can only come from above for me and for those that I serve. Is that serious what we do?
That's
That sometimes routinely, I need to take it to the Lord. I need your help. We have to do that.
but you know what, Dr. Nelson? Yes, because there are times when I know, and I know you'll be the same. I know you're the same. I know you're going to connect with this when I say you have that parent meeting or you have that conversation you need to have with the teacher, and you need it to come out right. You
Right.
don't want to hurt someone, or you about to say something very difficult. And I have that time of
Yes.
prayer where I pray over myself, where I pray over the situation, where I pray for myself that I do the right thing, because I just believe that he has placed us in that spot for a reason.
Right.
So I'm just like,
And it really also just speaks to just pausing for a minute, because for me, we're like this all the time. But sometimes we don't need to be like that. Sometimes we need to pause for a second, ask for some guidance, because it makes a difference. The decision that we're going to make, the steps that we need to take is worth pausing sometimes just for a minute, and ask for some guidance from our Heavenly Father.
Yes. We need that guidance.
We do.
Sometimes we really do, because I think that we get busy, we get caught up, we get to moving, we get to going, and we forget to just take that time to pause, because whatever decision I'm about to make, what is the impact going
That's
to
it.
what is the impact going to look like? And
Right.
we talk about impacting lives, and I know that you have, that is a part of it. If we go back from there, the hands of a teacher, when we think about the harmony is about myself, about me as an individual, but the hands of the teacher begins to also, then it's about me, but also I think the impact that we have on everybody that's around us. Talk to us about the hands of a teacher.
Right. So the hands of the teacher focuses on the work. It's the actual work that we do. So I can, be prayerful. I can exercise and take care of myself, and I can love the little ones. But if the work is not there, we can't love them to learn materials. We can't love high test scores, and we can't love them into graduating from high school and college. It's the work. See, it all goes together.
Oh.
Because you can do the work And I'm sure you've experienced it, and
Say
educators,
it.
we have, like the practice is really good, but you can tell they don't love kids.
That's it.
And it matters to that student because they can feel it, and so it all goes together. Then the other side of that is you can love you. We've come across teachers like that, love kids, love what they do, but when you go into the classroom, it's like, oh my goodness, what is going on in here, right?
That
The
is
kid's
true.
not learning anything.
That's it. It's those three.
So it goes together.
You better
You have
say
to have it all together. Yeah. So it's the work. The work is very important
the
as
work.
well.
The work is important, and
Mhm.
and one of the pieces in there, guys, I was telling Dr. Nelson, I said, the prayer was my takeaway from the chapter 3, the harmony. My takeaway from chapter 2, the hands, the work was building relationships because I'm a firm believer in if you don't have a relationship or you don't spend time building that relationship,
Right.
students won't work for you.
That
Teachers
is
won't work
true.
for you.
Mhm.
Parents won't, community won't. You have to
Right.
take time to build those relationships
Yes.
to make it.
It's that foundation for where that work will happen. It lays
Yes.
that foundation. But if that foundation is not there, yeah, I could probably teach you, but that when you have that relationship, they'll work a little harder for you.
That's it.
They will.
They will. And
They'll go that extra mile for
mhm.
you. On those days when they don't feel like doing it for themselves, they may do it for you, but they're doing it though. So that relationship is very important.
I think it is, and I think
Mhm.
what ways do you even if people are not an educator, I still believe that in any setting, you have to take the time to build strong relationships,
Yes.
even in a church. You have to
Yes.
build, it's what connects people to your ministry, is taking
Right.
time to build those strong relationships. Dr. Nessa, tell us about what's something that we can do to build strong relationships.
Well, one of the things that I talked about in the book is start out with learning names. And then
Mhm.
if you can just start out with just learning one thing about the people that you work with.
Mhm.
At, being a principal, I don't know every student, but I sure try though.
I'm
I'm getting
sure.
there. And some of them I may know their first name or their last name, or I may know that they have a
Yes.
brother or sister at the high school.
Mhm.
I may know they like football,
Yes.
or I'm going to learn something
Something.
about you. The teachers in the building, I go around every day. I speak to the teachers. I call them by name. I ask them about their children. I know you have a daughter that's in dance.
Yes.
I know that you have a son that plays soccer. I try to learn something about everybody. So when I call you by name, I can say, "Hey, how was that soccer game this weekend?"
That is true.
But genuinely, not just say it
No.
just to say it, but just like genuinely, I want to know the answer to.
Yes.
So I'm gonna wait because I want to hear how it went.
I think it does. I
Mhm.
think I've built some that when you say calling teachers by name and knowing one of my I have some special relationships with teachers in there, but they're children.
Yes.
Because they're children that I've come to know what goes on, and I generally want to know, but I think it buys that, it's
Mhm.
that giving, that taking. What you say, when they are who they are able to be, then I'm who I need to be,
Mhm.
and it does it because I think it just makes people feel important. It makes
Mhm.
people feel, and it makes people just feel special, and then
Mhm.
they'll go that extra mile on the day when they
Right.
really don't, when it's really not the day that I'm really feeling it.
Right.
And all of that harmony and all that goes together. And I think it all sticks together with the heart piece. Because the
Yes.
heart piece for me is love. And I just believe, I don't care what business you in, we're
Right.
in a teaching business.
Mhm.
But if
Mhm.
you don't love education,
Won't make it.
because you said education is power.
Yes.
And I'm like, if education is power, but you don't love it,
Ooh.
what does that, how?
Yeah. So the educators that I've come across that don't love, they're disgruntled. They complain about everything. They don't give 100% to what
Hmm.
they do because they don't love it. And it shows,
Hmm.
right? And then our students suffer.
That's
They're the
it.
ones that's suffering.
That's it.
Mhm.
I'm a firm believer that at the end of the day, then the kids end up suffering behind it.
Mhm.
If
Right.
nobody else has the impact, it impacts the kids.
Right. Mhm.
Oh my gosh, we've had such a great conversation. I cannot end my story. Everybody has one, Dr. Nelson, unless I ask you the magical question.
What's that?
What's your fight song, friend?
Ooh
What keeps you
wee.
going? What's that one song that when it seems like everything is falling apart and it's like, okay, what's the one song? What is your go-to, your fight song that keeps you in this education? Because education is, I love it and I know you do because we were right there together. But what's your fight song?
I have a song on my playlist, and I play it for the students sometime too. And it keeps me motivated, it keeps
Mm-hmm.
me encouraged. And I'm gonna say that song. It's called "The Climb." Have you heard that before? I
No.
think it's by Miley Cyrus. It's called "The Climb." And the climb is really summed up in the title, but it's the journey. It's about holding on. It's about being strong. It's the journey that we share together. It's the climb.
The climb. Oh,
Mhm.
I love it. The climb. And it's the journey. Well, thank you for journeying with me. Thank you for accepting the invitation to join me on the Vitamin M show for my story. Listen, my story, everybody has one. What's yours? This has been Dr. Nelson's story, and we thank you and we appreciate you. Listen, this has been your Vitamin M, and we will see you on next week.
Dr. Trevena Nelson's book, The Heart, Hands, and Harmony of a Teacher is available for purchase on Amazon.com. Scan the QR code and purchase yours today. Join us next week to get your weekly dose of Vitamin M. Please visit our website at www.marshallsterling.com.